Hello, welcome back. I went on a bit of a hiking hiatus as soon as I got back from Joshua Tree, mainly because the area got completely pounded with snow mid-February. And then not too long after that, Ash had her first seizure. So far it's her only one, and she's been doing fine since. But after that happened, I was also a little bit hesitant to really take her out to a remote area where I wouldn't have any service and not even really know how to handle it. Between the snow and Ash's incident, I was pretty okay with taking a break for a little while. Ash's test results ended up coming back totally fine, and then I saw this perfect window of super sunny, clear skies, and I knew that was my moment to get back out. I did do this hike about a year ago, and the conditions were completely different. It had been completely socked in, so there was absolutely no view, and it was at the time of year when there was like the shortest amount of daylight. So I ended up turning around about a half mile before the summit, mainly because it was getting dark and it just didn't seem worth the risk of hiking back down in complete darkness when I wasn't even going to see a view. That did not happen this time though. There was plenty of daylight and there was views the entire time. It felt like an entirely different trail, and I barely even noticed the amount of effort I was having to put in to get to the top. And that's saying a lot because it's pretty dang steep. Anyway, I'm so glad that I did it, and I can't wait to share it with you. So here you go, enjoy. I always start looking for hikes a week before and narrow options as I see what the weather is starting to look like. When I saw there was finally going to be fantastic weather with sun and clear skies, I knew I had to do a hike where there would be views along most of it. Hex Mountain was an easy choice. It's got the right amount of miles and enough elevation gain to make you really work for that summit, but it's still totally doable for an otherwise easygoing day hike. And the best part is, this trail does not have any avalanche danger. Even when NWAC is showing red all over the map for that area, this trail is still totally safe to do. So it's a really popular snowshoeing option in winter, especially when the skies are clear. I had read reviews and it sounded like a lot of people were opting to only wear spikes since the snow had hardened, but they were also suggesting to bring snowshoes since snow can soften during the day. I kept that in mind as I packed up my car and prepared for both scenarios. Before even leaving my house, the sun was already shining and showing off what a good day it was going to be. And then off we went, hopping on I-5, going through Seattle, and connecting to I-90. On good days, I-90 is absolutely stunning. The drive alone is gorgeous. It's enough to already feel hyped. Between these views with the sun, the 2-hour drive went by quickly, and I was already stoked to get on the trail by the time I got off the highway. The trail starts right off of the road, and the only parking available is alongside that road, so it can be really tricky when it gets busy. There are spots along the road that are illegal to park along, so be cautious of that, since they do actively ticket illegally parked cars here often. As most trails do, this one starts off with a very gradual and steady incline. Sure enough, the snow was hard enough where I was able to start and do nearly half of the trail without any spikes or snowshoes. As I continued to climb, Cleom Lake started peeking through the trees. Glimpses of peaks started appearing, giving all the validation I needed that the summit was going to be incredible. The best part of going on a weekday is having significantly less people around. I'd find out later that everyone else who had gone that day was already quite a bit ahead of me, and I would cross paths with all of them as I was about half mile from the summit. That meant I had the entire trail and summit to myself, which is the ultimate treat. The pups were pretty happy about it too. As soon as I came up on the Hex trail sign, it was straight up from there. As I continued to climb, evidence of a past forest fire started showing. It was eerie seeing the burnt trunks of the trees, and was a startling reminder of the past devastation of the last several summers. I did some research and found out that the wildfire that burned these trees on Hex Mountain happened in 2017. So not from last year's fires, but still concerning knowing that I'm likely going to see more of these charred trunks, especially as more trails start melting out. This portion goes along a ridgeline that is absolutely gorgeous. I started seeing even more glimpses at the view, and with every step, it got even more incredible. I'm a sucker for ridgelines, and having this one covered in snow and with the most incredible views, it satisfied all my favorite parts about hiking. There are some cornices on the right side that do look really cool, but should be avoided from walking on, especially as the snow is starting to melt out. There's a point where they're likely going to collapse, and putting weight on it could easily trigger that. Fortunately, you don't have to go too far to the left to avoid that. After going through a patch of trees, the summit came into view. The final push was very short, but also very steep. As I started climbing it, I got flashbacks to rest stopping my way up Mount Baker a few years ago. The push was short-lived, and before I knew it, I was on top of Hex Mountain. The view was incredible. I thought the best part was going to be looking at the lake with the mountains behind, but the view to the north was even more incredible. The amount of perfectly snow-covered peaks was enough to convince me to settle in for a bit and enjoy this relaxing summit to myself. These moments don't come often, and I just had to savor it as much as I possibly could. I forgot to pack a drink or any real food for this, which was such a missed opportunity. Instead, I drank my water and ate my hard snack bars. Okay, now let me take a moment to show off some new swag I acquired recently. Back in November, I donated to the Washington Trails Association during Giving Tuesday, and I actually won the raffle they were holding. I never win anything, so I'm still in shock. And even though it's only a buff and a water bottle, getting anything with the WTA design on it is nearly impossible. So I'm incredibly proud of it, and these are 2 items I use all the time, so they'll be getting plenty of use. With the days getting longer, I had plenty of time to do the trail without having to wake up super early or rush any part of the trail, which is yet another perk of doing this trail in March. I was tempted to stay on the summit until sunset, where I didn't feel like doing the whole thing back down during the dark, so I headed down in perfect time to catch golden hour and sunset before getting to the end. I'm trying something new this video. The hike down was incredible, so I filmed as much of it as I could to make a time lapse, at least of like the most incredible parts. So let me know if you like it and if you would like to see more of them in future videos.
So find me the rainbow. Find me to the top again. Campaign on a Tuesday. When I'm with you, the weekend never ends.
I got back to my car just as it got dark. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. I drove back with hardly any traffic, and I got to see the Snoqualmie Pass ski slopes all lit up. That was Hex Mountain. Second time was definitely the charm. I ended up never using my snowshoes. Still glad I brought them since I could tell the snow was getting kind of soft, where if it had been any warmer, I likely would have needed them, but I'm still glad I didn't have to use them. I'm still planning my next hike. The weather's looking good again, so I'm aiming for another one that has some good summit views. My next video is going to be from my Joshua Tree trip with the Airbnb we stayed at and my birthday celebrations. So hang tight for that. And until then, you can like, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you next week. Bye!